Okay, so I am recording this because I'll use it for training. So I'll black your names
Okay.
out if you want me to, or whatever. I'm Lori. Hi. I've met a lot of you before for many, many years. Who here has been to a One Hope wine tasting before? Yay. Okay, so they're a lot of fun in person, and it turns out they're pretty fun on Zoom too. It's gonna be very different tonight because typically I'd be pouring the wine for you. You'd get to try all of the wines, and I would tell you how great they were. But now your friends are gonna tell you how great they are because they're gonna taste the wine. So I'm gonna tell you a little bit about One Hope. We are a cause commerce winery based in Rutherford in Napa. So we're right off the St. Helena Highway. Cause Commerce means that we donate the majority of our profits do go to charities. So every wine that we drink tonight has its own cause partner. We also work with our hosts, and Tia's our host tonight. Thanks, Tia. Aren't you glad you didn't have to like make
Clean house
and clean your house and put on pants and all that? So we work with our hosts to raise money for the things that they're passionate about. So Tia chose Ordinary Nurses tonight. You want to tell us a little bit about that?
Actually, you know more about it because you're the one that introduced me. So
I don't. They work in Guatemala, right?
yeah, and they help with getting water and different things and helping in the third world country, places that don't have a lot.
Right. So that is what we're donating to tonight. So 10% of the sales tonight of half case and full case orders and gift sets will be donated to Ordinary Nurses on Tia's behalf and on your behalf, basically. So that's what we do. So this is a fundraiser, but it's way more fun with wine. So we like to do it that way. And that's One Hope. We started just about 13 years ago, started by a very young man, a 24-year-old man who had just graduated from Berkeley. He was working for Gallo Wines, and part of his job was to put wine on shelves in grocery stores and things. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. What does it say, Natalie? I didn't mean to put
I can hear now.
Okay. Oh gosh, I didn't mean to
I'm
put
good
you
now.
on hold, dude. I don't even know how I put you on hold. I don't know.
No worries. I'm all good.
Okay. So long story short, he noticed in the grocery store that sort of in October, things turned pink. He lost shelf space. It was Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And he thought, well, that's cool, but why is it only 1 month? And why are we just donating to breast cancer? Why aren't we giving back to everything with everything that we do? So that was kind of the genesis of this idea of his, that he wanted to start a wine company that would give back. He was working for Gallo Wine at the time. He grew up sort of in the South Bay area, so he was familiar with wine and the wine industry. He went back to Gallo and he talked these 7 other young people that he was working with into joining him in this venture. I'm going to start a wine company. And together they basically maxed out their credit cards and came up with about $10,000. Jake went up to the Sonoma Wine Company and talked them into pulling a bunch of wine off of a run. They do bottling for other vineyards, other wineries. And he talked them into pulling a bunch of wine off of a big run that they were doing. And he and these friends went home and made labels. He was the fundraising chair for his fraternity. So he had some connections with some nonprofits and said, hey, I want to put your name on my bottle and we'll give you 50% of the profit. It was a no-brainer, obviously, right? So they created these labels and stuck them on the bottles and started selling them at the bars and the restaurants that they were hanging out at. Everybody loved it, thought it was super cool. They got an opportunity to do a big industry event with the wine, where for 3 days they were pouring wine, talking about their causes. We had 3 causes when we started. Everybody thought it was great. One of the people that came through happened to be Michael Mondavi. So if you're familiar with the Mondavi name, that's who started the wine industry in California. This was Robert Sr.'s son, Michael. Written on the back of his business card, it said, give me a call. So Jake called him and said, hey, Jake Cloverdance, I'm One Hope Wine, and you came through and tried our wine. And he said, I love what you guys are doing. I love your mission. He said, your wine is terrible. And he said, I'd like to see if there's a way that we can work together to create a really beautiful wine to go with your mission, because you have a really beautiful mission. So our partnership with the Mondavis began just about 13 years ago. Our wines are sold in bars, restaurants, stores, liquor stores. It's at Topgolf. If you've ever been to Woody's Woodfire Pizza in Golden, they have our whole core line. You can see us all over. We partner with John Elway's Seven Cellars. So we're widely available. But the wine that we are talking about tonight, you can only get through this direct selling avenue, which we began just about 4.5 years ago. I joined at that same time. I was very, very, very blessed, if you will, to find one hope at a time in my life that I really needed it, and that they were just beginning this direct selling side of things. When I joined, we had donated $1 million, which was huge based on, you know, just from the sales of our wine in, again, grocery stores, liquor stores, restaurants, etc. Now, 4.5 years later, our donations have gone over $5 million in just 4 years. And that's because of situations like this. Now you're not just walking into a liquor store and looking at a label and going, oh yeah, okay, that's cool. Now we're going to talk about it. You guys are going to hear about our causes. You're going to hear about all the things, and you're going to hear about it from each other. So it's super cool. So that's pretty much the rant right there. That's how we all got started. That's what we're doing now. And this is what I do. Normally I'm in your living room, but now you're in your living room and I'm in my office. So we're going to start out with Heather. Heather has our sparkling brut. What I noticed, Heather, is that even when you went off mute, we couldn't hear you. So do we want to try it again? Okay, now you're off mute, but we still can't hear you.
It might be the microphone on her earphones.
Yeah, I wonder if, I think she's gonna, it looks like she's moving to another location, an undisclosed location.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can
Yes.
hear you now, Heather.
Can
Yeah.
you hear me now?
Yes.
You can
We
hear me
can.
now. Okay. Let me reorganize.
Okay.
I don't get a drink in my office.
My kids were
It's the
talking
first
last
time for
night
everything.
about how lovely Kyle Clark's home was. And they were like, you'd be screwed if you were on this. Look, it's one corner. He just cleaned one corner. I know how to do this. So Heather is going to talk to us about sparkling brut. Now, Heather, you have this before, right?
I have.
Okay. So what do you want to tell us about it? Show us the bottle again.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
I left the bottle.
That's
Troy,
okay.
can you bring me the bottle?
Let's
I
get
have
it.
the wine.
Okay. What do you
Here
want
comes
to
the
tell
bottle.
us about the bottle?
Thank you, handsome. Here's the bottle. It's champagne. It's sparkly. It's delicious. It's very light and crisp. It would be great as a mimosa, although I love champagne by itself. So
Yeah, I'm with you.
It's great any time of the day.
Yeah. If you read the back of the bottle, Heather, it's going to tell you a lot of information about the wine. We're all used to it by now. No worries.
Yes, don't mind the children. They're eating. It says it has high acidity, low body, medium sweetness. I'd agree with that. Tasting profile, pineapples, citrus, and crisp apple. It pairs well with fish and chips, lemon tart, bubble baths, and unicorns.
Yay. Yeah.
I don't know if you want to do all those at the same time.
I was going to say, I've tried all of those things but the unicorns. So the reason it pairs so well with the lemon tart is that crispness cuts through the sweetness of the lemon. It's also the fish and chips, because they're so fatty. Again, that dryness of the wine is going to cut through that fat and just really really well. It is a beautiful wine. It gives to an organization called Why Hunger, and Why Hunger provides for hungry kids in the U.S. 1 in 8 kids in the United States don't know where their next meal is coming from. Which, how many of you are educators? You guys know, right? Like, you know, kids that are hungry or coming to school on an empty stomach. What Why Hunger does is they do backpack programs. They do community garden programs. Lots of things to provide healthy meals for kids. So it's a really great organization. Through the sales of our sparkling brut, we've been able to provide over 3 million meals to hungry kids in the United States. Very, very cool. Heather, any final notes about the wine for us? It's okay.
It's delicious. It's delicious. It's really good. It did make a pop, which any good champagne should. But I would drink it with anything.
Yeah. I don't ever make a mimosa out of that. To me, mimosas are for really crappy wine. Like, you know, when you got that spark. I mean, I'm just saying, like, it's so good by itself. Now, I will tell you,
good by itself.
I have been known to put a shot of orange vodka in it.
Oh, I have not done that, but I might try.
That's a very special. It's called an oh no mimosa.
Oh,
You're allowed to have one, and then it's over.
You put orange juice in your mimosa so that you don't get.
Yeah.
You can drink a little more,
right,
for a little bit longer.
Yeah.
You just don't feel you just don't feel guilty because you get your citrus and your champagne.
Correct. It's true.
Vitamin C. It's healthy.
Exactly.
Double dose of vitamin C.
It's a full fruit salad.
There you go. Well, thanks a lot for sharing, Heather. I appreciate you going first. That was very brave of you.
Okay.
Shelley, you're up. Yeah, you. Yeah. So Shelley's got our Vintner Pinot Grigio. You are on mute, Shelley. No, she doesn't. What does she have?
Pinot Noir. No. I have a Pinot Noir.
Oh, you have the Pinot Noir. You're not next. Who has
didn't
the
think
Pinot
so.
Grigio? Anyone? Oh, no, Sauvignon Blanc. I forgot I switched it. Who's got the Sauvignon Blanc? Rochelle, is that you?
Hi,
Jackie.
Oh, Jackie does.
Jackie.
Hey. Hi, Jackie.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can totally hear you. Do you want to?
Yeah. Okay.
You're good. Can you
So
show
I
us the?
haven't tried it yet. Do you want me to read the bottle?
Can everybody hear her? Okay. You're a little bit quiet, but we can kind of hear you.
Is this better?
A little bit.
Yeah, you guys are quiet too. I don't know what the.
Oh, really?
Hang on.
Oh, bummer.
Yeah, super quiet for me. My volume. I'll just talk really loud.
Now we hear you.
Okay. Okay. So my wine, this bottle helps plant a tree to save our environment. Pairs well with oysters, lemon pie, summertime, and flip-flops. The tasting profile is lemon, lime, and guava.
So what do you think when you read that? Are you getting some of that as you taste it?
I haven't tried it, so I'll try it right now.
Yes, please.
Okay.
Yes. So while she's pouring herself a little,
Wow.
yay.
I need another. Hang on.
Okay, yeah. Take your time. We're all, yeah. Are you a Sauvignon Blanc drinker?
I do. I like Sauvignon Blanc. I drink quite a bit of it. This one's pretty fruity. It's a pretty fruity, on the fruity end of Sauvignon Blanc. So that guava for sure is coming through for me. And it says a medium sweetness, so I'd say compared to others I've drunk, it's pretty sweet, but
Yeah.
I mean, what I like about it is it's crisp, which is a favorite aspect of white wine for me. Yeah, so I like that crisp taste to it. The high acidity, I like high acidity wine, so that works for me as
So
well.
do you typically like a New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc?
Yeah, absolutely.
So the difference between the Vintner Sauvignon Blanc and all of the wine that we're trying tonight is from our Vintner collection, and I'm going to tell you about that in a minute. But that New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc is usually almost grapefruit. That background flavor is almost grapefruit, right? Where this is going to tend more toward the lemon and lime side of things. It is a little bit sweeter. As I talk about it, my mouth is actually watering because it's so juicy. It's a very juicy Sauvignon Blanc. Yeah. And that, pardon me?
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
That juicy is a great descriptor.
Yeah. So the cause partner with that is an organization called Trees for Trees. Every 2 bottles of our Sauvignon Blanc plants 1 tree. So with every wine that we try, we have what we call a measurable impact. So I told you about the sparkling brut. Every bottle provides 1 meal. 2 bottles of Sauvignon Blanc plants 1 tree. So again, that's true of all of our wines. We can tell you exactly what it's doing. Now, I might have to look it up because I don't have it all memorized, but I can look it up. So it's very important to us that we're transparent with you and letting you know. I'm going to basically say, buy our wine, we're doing good things, we're going to feed babies and things, but we need to be accountable to you when we say that. So thank you very much for sharing. I really appreciate it. Okay, and who has the Chardonnay? Is that you, Rochelle?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, I always like to ask when I start sharing Chardonnay, raise your hand if you hate Chardonnay. Good. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Jody, I'm going to ask you, why do you hate Chardonnay typically? Oh, wait, you muted.
I really don't like the tannins. I don't like it when it does this. So if I can get an unoaked Chardonnay, then I really like it. I really do. But when it's oaked and I get that really oaky, the tannins kind of a flavor, almost like alcohol cotton swab has come in and just wiped the inside of your mouth and left you for naught. I hate that.
You know, you actually described that. So big oaky Chardonnays, and that is typically why people don't like them. They're that very buttery. And Heather, are you nodding? Is that why you don't like it? Yeah. Right? Because of that oak. And you pointed to the exact right place. I just wanted to tell you that's where we feel the tannins. That's where we feel that dry wine right there. So that was very good, Jody. So Rochelle, I want you to talk a little bit. Go ahead and take a big sniff of that wine. Talk about it a little bit, and then we're going to have you read the bottle.
Well, and you know, it's funny because I usually drink red. Can you hear me okay?
Yep, perfect.
Okay. I usually drink reds, and I love reds, and I used to be a lot sweeter blends and all that, and then I started moving away from that and started going a little bit drier, and most of my friends drink white, you know, any kind of, especially towards the summer, I think a little bit just less body to it, whatever. And so I thought I want to try the Chardonnay. I don't like things that are too dry, but I'm tending to now stay away from things that are definitely too sweet also, even though I do like the brut or the mimosas every now and then, and or, you know, all that. But drinking this one, I thought, you know, it's not too sweet, it's not too dry. Sorry, my dogs are going to help.
You're fine.
And when I read the back of it, which, by the way, because this is the first time I've seen one of these bottles, I loved the whole back of it. And I saw the Robert Mondavi, Rob Mondavi. So I saw all of that on the back, and I thought, this is a really cool thing. I don't think every wine, you know, label does this. So it said, it pairs well with fresh crab or macaroons. And it's great for a movie night. And it said the acidity is low And then it's medium body and medium sweetness, which I think is really why I liked it. And I think the reason, wouldn't you say, with the apple, just because I think apples could be sweet or slightly tart, maybe that's why it's right in the middle. And I love that. Vanilla, I like that with a little bit of the citrus. So I don't know, it was a really cool combination for me. So I really thought this was neat. And I would get this for several of my friends that I know are wine drinkers that, you know, just for multiple reasons, for what you're saying. Oh, breast cancer, yes?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. That was a beautiful description, actually. Thank you so much. I'm so tickled because I'm so used to presenting these wines, and to hear other people present them and how easily they do, it just makes me really happy. Like, that's the whole idea. You know, and I'll talk about our community a little bit more here in a minute, but you did a really great job of describing that. You guys have all done a great job. The reason I ask who hates Chardonnay is because this Chardonnay is a little different. Well, it's a lot different. It's not completely unoaked. So it starts out in stainless steel and then it's finished in oak. It's only in the oak for a short time. So you don't get that big buttery tannin feel. But you do get just a tiny bit of sweetness sort of in the front of your mouth. And then it's going to open up and you're going to get that pippin apple and more of that citrus and vanilla in it. It's a really pretty Chardonnay. Mm-hmm. It gives to an organization, which was one of our very first cause partners, called Gateway for Cancer Research. Gateway provides clinical trials for all types of cancer. And early clinical trials. And I found it very striking in this weird time that we're living in, when we're talking a lot about these early clinical trials and, you know, how they're rushing to get things moving, you know, a vaccine and, you know, treatments and all of this. Those usually take years and years and years. And they're not like the sexy clinical trials where by the time, you know, we know it's going to work, we just have to try it on 1 million people. These are the very early clinical trials where these are last chances for people. And that's what Gateway does. Our Chardonnay gives directly to clinical trials for women with breast cancer. Clinical trials save lives, and they're often not covered by insurance. And so I remember when I very first started, I spoke to a woman from the Sally Job Center, and she said, you know, we have people trying to get into clinical trials all the time, and we don't have room. So I don't know, that it just really struck me. Again, 1 in 8 women will be diagnosed with breast cancer in her lifetime. And that's what Gateway's all about. So thank you for sharing our Chardonnay. I think you did a beautiful job. I love our white wines, especially today when the sun was out. Yay, sun. Tomorrow, what are we, like 9 inches of snow? I mean, I like them anytime, but I particularly like them in the summer. I'm going to tell you a little bit about our community, and then Shelly, you're up. So get ready, girl. You get yourself ready. Okay. If you have any props or anything that you want to use. No, I'm just kidding. So sort of our mission statement, our one hope, is to bring together a community of people who make the world better through memorable wine and experiences. And that is what we're about. It's been what we've been about since day one. And 13 years later, it's still what we're about. We want to grow our community. There's lots of ways for you to help us do that. The first way is by attending a tasting. When you come to a tasting, you're going to learn about One Hope. You're going to learn about our impact in the world. You're going to learn about our local impact. You'll go tell somebody about this tomorrow. That helps grow our community. You're going to talk about this cool wine tasting that you went to and the people they give back to stuff. So that's the initial way that you can become part of the community. The next way is to host a tasting like Tia's doing. And again, you know, this is my 4th, Tia. So I do in-home wine tastings. And when this all went down, I thought, oh, what am I going to do? And so I had to really embrace, like a lot of us, this new world of Zoom. And I have to say, it's going really well and it's super fun. And you guys got to stay home, and I don't get to drink at my tastings because I'm working, but I have to drive home. But guess what? I just have to make it downstairs tonight. So that's been really fun. Benefits to hosting a tasting are we're going to donate 10% of the sales at your tasting to the 501c3 that you're passionate about. It can be your kids' sports team. It can be your church. It can be your school. It can be ordinary nurses. It can be the American, anything you choose. We donate 10% of the sales to that. On top of that, you're going to get 10% of your sales in free product, and my product is wine. So you get a lot of free wine. Tia's gotten a fair amount of free wine in her day. Tia, do you know what today is? Today is the 1-year anniversary of your last tasting. Yeah, isn't that wild? I know, I was so surprised when that came up, or within the week anyway. So you're gonna get that donation, you're gonna get 10% in free wine. I am going to give you wine. So just like Tia had wine to pass out to you, that was my gift to you guys. I will do that for you as well. I will come, and I think, is everybody local, right? Everybody's in Castle Rock. Is anybody not? Ish, you're close, right? No, Karen's going, no.
Karen's in Boise. Karen's my big sister.
Oh, I got to meet you last time, but you left.
No, I was there. I was at one of yours.
Didn't you take the kids? Didn't you go with the kids somewhere?
Oh, we might have eventually, but I think I was there for part of it.
Yes. Yeah. Well, listen, I'll ship wine to Boise, girl. And
all
if
right.
you pass it around the hood, that's fine.
You bet.
Jackie, where are you? I don't know. Jody's pointing down, but to me, that's Jackie.
Colorado Springs.
Colorado Springs.
Advocating for Karen.
Okay. And again, I will ship wine to you. And we'll do exactly this. We'll have a Facebook group. I'll populate it with information. You get to pick who you want to give it to. I will either ship the wine to you or drop it off on your doorstep. We'll do a little poll. People will decide what wine they want. They can come pick it up off your porch, or you can deliver it to them. It's entirely up to you. They have to be close, obviously. I don't want anybody driving anywhere. And then we'll do this, and we'll have a blast, and your friends will get to share about the wine, and we'll have a good time. So I'd love, Jody, I'm seeing a thumbs up. I'm going to put you down as a possible tasting. I will reach out to you guys, and you can let me know as well. I think I'm booking May. I'm so excited. Like, usually I'm booked out so far, you know? So anyway, I'll reach out to you guys. The next way, and this is a big deal tonight, the next way to become part of and help us grow our community is to become a preferred customer. That's typically $20 a year. What that $20 gets you is 10% off of a half case, 20% off of a full case, half off shipping. And at the end of your year, you get to donate 10% of the sales of your tasting. 10% of your own personal wine sales to the charity of your choice. So you're going to drink wine anyway, right? Go ahead and buy wine from One Hope. At the end of the year, you designate the 501c3 that you want, and the One Hope Foundation will donate your own personal wine purchases to that charity. For the month of April, it is free to become a preferred customer. So everybody tonight, when you purchase wine, you're going to become a preferred customer. That $20 is waived tonight. And you're going to get half off shipping. The other thing that we're offering in April with preferred customer membership is actually 15% off of a half case, 30% off of a full case. So that's major. We don't ever do that. I think it was very much in response to what's going on. A lot of folks, you know, are having hardships, etc. We still want to drink wine. I just saw on the news tonight, they were talking about, they had these moms on and they were talking about, are you drinking more? And they all kind of went, I mean, and then like the host was like, I mean, I am. And they all went, yeah, I really am. So you guys are doing so much right now. Like, I can't even believe it. But so 15% off of a half, 30% off of a full case, half off shipping. You still get to make that donation. We also offer a subscription service. You get to decide the wine that you want and the frequency with which you want it. So every 1, 2, 3, or 4 months, you get to pick the wine, and you can change the frequency and the wine at any time. So it's kind of like creating your own wine club, because you get to pick everything. And again, you can change it at any time. The benefits to that are everything that I already mentioned. So the 15, the 30, the free preferred membership charge. Sorry, I lost my thought. and you get free shipping. And all of that is locked in for a whole year. So once you subscribe, you get all of that for a whole year. The last thing that I'll mention with regard to our offers right now is our wine club. Wine club is a curated quarterly half case. There's always reserve wines in there. The last 2 quarters, there's been an exclusive wine, exclusive to the wine club. So you wouldn't be able to get it unless you were in the wine club. The wine club is created by our winemaker, Mari Wells Coyle. Mari came to us, I'm just checking that. Oh, I see that. Okay. I was just checking the chat box. Mari came to us from Sterling Vineyards. So if you're familiar with Sterling Vineyards, it's a very, very well-known winery. And this is all of the wine that we're trying tonight is Mari's wine. She styled it. She is one of the only women vintners in the US to have her own entire line of wine. We're super, super, super proud of her. Every single wine in her collection has won awards since it was released in September of 2019. The red blend that we're going to talk, who's got red blend? Wave if you've got the red blend. Girl, I'm drinking it too. Awesome. The red blend got a 96-point rating from the California State Wine Fair, which is the oldest wine competition in California. It was also designated the best red wine blend in the fair. So it is a delicious, beautiful wine. Mari did that. We're super proud of her. The last way to become part of our community is to come and do this with me, like Brenda has done. We have a special this month. You can join for $29. What that gets you is a website and catalogs and order forms and things like that, and the ability to be the wine person for yourself and your friends and family. Ain't nobody going nowhere. So you're going to have a website that you can share with people, and people can click on that and buy wine, and you're going to make a little money, and they're going to get a really nice wine. So I would love to talk to everybody about all of those things. Hi, bud. And definitely follow up with me. I'll send you guys a little note or something, but be sure to follow up with me if you're interested in anything that I've offered. So thanks. I'm done talking for a minute. Okay, Shelly, let's hear it, sweetie. Yeah.
Okay, so I have the Pinot Noir along with Toby and Tatiana. They're my neighbors, so I went over and poured them some wine. And then the Pinot funds pet adoptions. So this is my prop. That was a good idea, Lori.
What?
This is Hank. This is my little buddy.
Oh my gosh, he's so cute.
He's gonna be like Chewbacca soon because we can't get him groomed. He's gonna be like a big ball of fluff, aren't you?
Oh, look
at
him.
So anyway, he's my little buddy. There you go. Now you can go. He was patiently waiting. He was like, "Why are you holding me like this?" Okay, so should I read the bottle?
Well, why don't you talk about it first? So, and also Tatiana and Toby, chime in. Tell us how you like. I mean, Toby's glass is almost empty, so I feel like he likes it.
Yeah. I would actually, they could chime in first.
Sure. So, somebody who drinks a lot of wine, because the Italians say bad wine's better than water. I drink a lot of wine. My impressions is a very light, crisp, refreshing Pinot Noir. I'm used to drinking very heavy Pinots. Lots of cherries, a little bit. It's interesting. They have the hint of cola, where if you draw this in the middle of your palate, you taste the cola and the raspberries. A little bit of shortbread at the end. Very nice, light, easy drinking, crisp Pinot Noir. Highly recommend.
Beautiful description. I love it. Wow. And he's a wine guy. So I mean,
the wine guy.
Yeah.
I wine a lot.
Yeah. That's what Tatiana said, but I wasn't going to say anything. That's a beautiful, beautiful description. I do want to point out we have 5 different Pinot Noirs, and they're from all over California. So each AVA is slightly different, and the profiles of the wine are night and day. You're used to drinking a heavy Pinot Noir. We have one from Edna Valley that is, to me, closer to a cab almost. It's so spicy and so big. Whereas we have one from Russian River that is super light, super dry, just gorgeous, gorgeous. So I'm not going to get all into the details of it, but we have a lot of different Pinot Noirs. That's definitely our lightest and most crisp. It's a great red wine for folks who really only drink white wine typically. It's kind of a good crossover wine, if you will. Shelley, go ahead, beat that.
So thank you, Toby, for that fabulous description. I agree with him. But I do really taste the cherries. That's the first thing that I really noticed, but I'm not a good like wine describer like Toby, so I really appreciate his expertise. What I like about this wine is that I don't like wine that is like super spicy where it burns so much down my throat and into my esophagus. I don't like that. So this doesn't do that for me. Yeah, I don't like maybe it's the real acidy wines that I don't like. I'm not really sure, but I would guess that's what it is. So this I really like because I do think it's a lighter version of a Pinot.
Nice.
And it does say that it pairs well with grilled salmon, which I love, brownies, which I also love, and barbecues, which we barbecue a lot, and then helping animals.
Right.
So that's kind of all my stuff right here.
I love it.
The acidity is medium, the body is low, and the sweetness is also medium.
So 0 residual sugar in that wine. So it's not going to be a super sweet wine. It's a pretty dry wine, but it's a very light dry wine. So it's not going to give you that, Jody, that tannins like back here in your jaw.
Yeah.
Not going to give you that big alcohol. It's just going to be a pretty light, refreshing red.
I think I've had that one. Is that the one you sent me, Tia? In the pet box?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah. I got the pet box and I have pet toys and my little pet Harper, she loves them.
Yay, good. And did you get some little dog cookies in there? They change it up now and again, so you might not know.
We didn't get any dog cookies. We've got 3 dog toys and we sort of parse them out a little bit to the puppy dog. The first one, she kind of mangled pretty good and she's a wee doggy.
Oh.
She mangled it pretty good, but the second one she's had for quite some time and she absolutely loves it.
Good. So we actually called that and our Pinot Grigio Pinot for Paws. They all give to the ASPCA. So again, to help fund pet adoptions for shelter pets. So that was a great, hello. We also have a meow box.
Oh.
Pinot Noir for kitties.
That's Monster.
Hi, Monster. Good job, you guys. That was awesome. You're hired. $29. Let's go. Okay, next up is Jody with our red blend. I told you a little bit about the red blend and the awards that it's won. I also want to tell you who it supports. So I'm going to let you talk about it, Jody, and then we'll talk about the organization that it supports.
I have to put on my Costco readers.
I don't know what you're talking about right now.
Yes. So the back side of it says that it has a tasting profile of berry cobbler, spice, and cocoa powder. And that it's medium across the board. So acidity, body, and sweetness, it's just kind of medium. And it is. It's really just a really nice, easy drinking wine. It's neither heavy nor light. It's kind of just right there in the middle. It's not really sweet or dry. So it just is really easy on the palate. It does have a little bit of fruit forward, I would say, and then it finishes maybe just a little dry. I like it that way. I do. And it says it's really good with grilled bacon burgers and berry pie and shooting stars. Who doesn't like some shooting stars, but yeah. And then it actually reunites veterans with a sense of purpose through disaster relief.
Yeah.
So I kind of like that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But it's a really nice wine. Like I definitely would, I think I would definitely choose that just on a regular day, you know, with a variety of different food. I think I would do it with chicken or fish or even some like burgers and things. Maybe a little bit heavier fish, but yeah, I mean, it's really just an easy drinking wine.
Yeah. Very smooth.
It really is,
Which one is that one?
but it's got a lot of flavor. So, you know, a lot of times when I think of a smooth wine, I think of something that doesn't necessarily like fill your palate with like a lot of flavor. But this is smooth and a lot of flavor.
Yeah. I think that's a great description. I thank you because it's such a hit for everyone. It's got a very soft mouthfeel to it, but it's got enough substance. I always say, you know, I don't typically drink with my meals. I'm looking, is that a frozen burrito? No. What do
Really,
you have
you don't drink with your meals?
I don't, but
I mean, who doesn't drink with their meals?
but I will take a nice big old glass of wine upstairs after dinner and say, good night. I'm going to go read my book now. And the reason oh, you guys are eating chocolate. Oh, is it chocolate? Oh my gosh. Those are those like, what are they called? The little waffle cookies. Yes. Yes. Digestives. Yes. I love it because it will pair well with food for sure, but it's really got enough sort of heft to it to stand up on its own as well without being super overpowering. I do want to talk about the cause partner. So it does say it reunites veterans with a sense of purpose. It does that through an organization called Team Rubicon. Has anybody heard of Team Rubicon? I know Tia has. Awesome. Tatiana has. So Team Rubicon trains veterans to do disaster relief in their own communities and also all over the world. Right now, they're very heavily in New York, obviously, you know, boots on the ground. They will travel to tornado affected areas. They probably still have people on the ground in Puerto Rico. It's an incredible organization. It was started by a young man who was able to go volunteer after the earthquake in Haiti just about 9 years ago. He had come home after serving in active duty and was suffering from depression. His best friend actually took his life. And he was given this opportunity to go to Haiti, and he went with some friends that he had served with. And what he recognized for himself was his depression was coming from a lack of a sense of purpose. You know, our service members give and give and give and give and then come home and don't necessarily have that outlet. And that is sort of what he recognized where his depression was coming from. So I see the kitty butt, Tia. Anyway, so when he came home, he started Team Rubicon, and it's now, it's now a huge organization, an international organization that deploys when there are disasters, but also will deploy. I like to talk about, if you were here during the Hayman fire, that's an area where Team Rubicon went, where they did fire mitigation and reforestation and things like that. So something very local as well as national and international causes. So really cool organization with a beautiful, beautiful wine. I mentioned that we partner with Seven Cellars, John Elway's wine brand. And I will tell you that I was very surprised, and I probably shouldn't say this, and this is being recorded for future trainings, so don't say this at your tastings, people, but I did not expect much from that Seven Cellars wine because, I don't know, it felt kind of gimmicky. That cab is amazing. And I found out later that it's created by Mari and Rob Mondavi Jr. And that's, now I'm not surprised. But if you like a really big cab that is just very complex and beautiful, that Seven Cellars wine is amazing. Also gives to Team Rubicon. So, and speaking of cabs, who has our cab? Hello? Nobody's
I
got
think
the
Natalie has the cab.
Yeah, I have it. Can you hear me now?
Hello.
Okay, yeah, to join by hello.
Hi.
Yeah. So I have a cab. Here's the bottle.
Yay.
Very beautiful. Yes, I normally drink cabs and not really good about articulating how they taste or how they're different. I just like them because I don't like anything too sweet. I kind of always used to go with the more sweet wines when I was younger. And then I went to Chardonnay, it's too dry. So a cab is kind of perfect for me because it's just really nice and medium, and kind of what Jody was saying about her wine, just smooth, you know, I like that. So what it says, so the tasting profile is black cherry, chocolate, which I was actually thinking about getting some chocolate as I saw them eating chocolate. It's like, that would probably go really good with this cab. And vanilla, absolutely. And then it pairs well with my favorite dinner that my husband always says Natalie has to have her nice dinner out, which is a beef filet mignon. So that would be perfect. So we could grill that since we're stuck at home. Baklava, new haircuts, which would be really nice about right now, and charades.
Yeah.
So all my favorite things. But it was really cool because it also supports children with autism, which definitely is a cause that I'm very passionate about too, because I have a lot of friends that have children with autism. So yeah, it's a really good wine.
Thank you. Good job.
Sorry, I wish I could describe it better.
Look, here's the deal. I'm not a wine expert. I think the only wine expert in the room is Toby. So the rest of us, we're just in it, right? We just like wine. We don't have
drank a lot of wine over my years, but
right, exactly.
Hard to explain.
What and if
and here it is.
Life, that's what's important. That's a cute glass. I like that.
Thanks. We've had these for a long time.
Super cute. The organization that it gives to is called Act Today. And again, one of our very first cause partners, Act Today, provides ABA therapies for kids on the autism spectrum. It was started by a woman who, after several years of infertility, she and her husband were able to adopt a little boy, deliriously happy. And you guys all know the story, and he's about 20 now, I think. But at about 18 months old, they started to notice that something didn't seem quite right. And again, remember, in the frame of reference is maybe 20 years ago. Went to the pediatrician. The pediatrician was like, he's a boy. Don't worry about it. You know, the short version is he didn't get diagnosed until he was almost 5. And by that time, he was nonverbal, not toileting himself. He was violent, acting out, obviously. Along with the diagnosis came ABA therapy, and it changed everything. Their family was falling apart. You know, it's hard to have obviously a special needs kid, but when you have a special needs kid with no diagnosis and you don't know what the heck is going on, right? And then you find this ABA therapy. ABA therapy, and you guys are the educators, so you know way more than I do, but my understanding is it's sort of a very intense behavior modification. And by intense, I mean 4 to 6 hours a day, every single day, to the tune of about $150 an hour, not covered by insurance. So she recognized the difference that it made in her child and in her family, but also at the same time recognized that most people couldn't afford that. So they started Act Today to help fund these therapies. They also fund families getting speech devices and, you know, all kinds of things. So it's a really great organization. I just want a show of hands. I just had to check who's howling. Am I the only one howling at 8 o'clock? Why aren't you guys howling? Yay. I just wanted to put it on the table. Why are you not howling, Tia? Get out there and howl.
Our kids think it's really silly. Yes, but they do it.
But they do it. They think it's silly, but they do it. I'll tell you.
We only did it one time, the girls, and then they were like, this is weird.
Do you guys hear it at night?
I was a little bit worried. I thought there were coyotes for a little while.
Well,
I wasn't clued in. I don't think I read enough. And so I thought it was a little bit strange. So I'm
If
not
it-
participating.
The first night I did it, I was the only one doing it, and I did. I was like, oh my God, this is, but I'm a nerd. Like, I'm going to do that anyway. Now, the entire neighborhood is howling. So anyway, it feels pretty good. That's why my voice sounds like this, though. I was howling a little too aggressively, actually. I felt I had to get some things out. Like, I have 5 adults living in my house right now, and I love them dearly. But yeah, mommy was going to need to howl a little bit. So, you guys, we did all the wines. Thank you. Tia, what are you drinking?
I have a Merlot.
Tell us about the Merlot. It's so pretty.
It's so when I first tasted it, I love this Merlot. I've had it before. It's very, very rich. I can taste, it talks about dried cranberry, and I can taste that really well. It also talks about plum, tobacco, and vanilla. I'm not sure about the tobacco part, but it has a real richness. Chris tried it as well, and kind of that we both said it's like you could taste a little of the barrel, but not in a bad way.
Right.
But I love Merlots, and this one is really good. It says it pairs well with carne asada, cupcakes, staycations, and sunsets. So, and for acidity, body, and sweetness, it's all listed as medium. And this bottle funds education resources to help prevent heart disease.
Right. So I believe the name of the organization, Brenda, do you know the name of the organization? We just switched it, but it is a heart organization. So we're funding, again, education to help prevent heart disease. So that's our lineup, you guys. You did so well. You're all hired. Tia, thank you so much for hosting your tasting. We did have
Thanks for bringing wine over for me to deliver. It was fun.
Yes, you guys are awesome. What I'm going to do is I'm going to post in the group. I'll probably send you all friend requests. Don't worry. It's just because I want to be able to communicate with you and answer questions and things like that. I'm not a stalker. Tia will tell you I'm not a stalker. But I'd love to stay in touch with you. Love to help you place your orders as you're ready. That special is going on. We will keep Tia's tasting open, I think, through the weekend. So if you want to place orders, if you need help, if you have questions, just let me know. I'm more than happy to help. You guys were awesome. This was really fun. I love it. Let's do a cheers before we go.
It's nice to see other humans.
Thank you, Tia.
Thanks, Tia. Cheers.
Thank you,
everybody.
Tia.
Thanks,
Have
Karen.
a beautiful evening.
Thanks, Lori. Tell your boys hi.
What are you doing? Seriously. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. See ya.
Bye.
Thank you.
I'm trying to figure out how to turn it off. There we go. Stop.